All right, baby. It is enlightenment for the soul, the mind, the ear. WSMESM Enlightenment Radio. What's going on? It is the Doctor. It is another episode of the Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, I never disappoint with these spotlights. I'm always giving you good conversation, always giving you information that you need to know, and bringing you people that you need to know better. All right. And hey, my guest tonight is no stranger to SM Enlightenment Radio. She's pretty much a resident here, resident personality. And hey, we all love her to death here. So, it's our good friend, the good doctor. I'll bring her on in from Tyson Multimedia. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the very lovely Dr. Tiffany Tyson in the house.
Hello.
What's going on there, Dr. Tyson? How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Very good, very good. It's a Sunday night spotlight, so let me just say happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday to you.
And hey, usually when we do this this little powwow, this get together, this annual talk that we do. Now we usually do it in February, and we're a little late this year. A lot going on, and just difficulty just trying to schedule everything. But hey, we're here, so we're gonna do our annual thing that we usually do in February, even though it's technically March. But we're gonna talk about February and March and the spring and everything else that's going on, right? So, tell for those that don't know about you, all right, Dr. Tiffany Tyson, you are the CEO, the brainchild. You are the head honcho, the big one that runs that Tyson Multimedia. Let the people know a little bit about that company and what it is that you do.
Yes. So Tyson Multimedia, wow, we do multiple things. So we do programming for youth, whether it's workshops or summer camps. And then during the pandemic, we crossed over into working with small businesses. We've been providing video production services if someone needs a commercial, whether they're an author or speaker or any type of small business, whether they own a beauty salon or barbershop or what have you. We've been doing promotional videos for them as well. So we kind of branched off into that a little bit. But again, we primarily work with schools and churches and then small businesses.
Nice.
Creating content.
Yeah, and you guys been around doing your thing down there in North Carolina for a minute now, right?
Yes.
Been working, and you are Dr. Tiffany Tyson. You are a doctor. I know that you are definitely working in the medical field, and I don't want to get myself in trouble because I said before that you were a psychologist. I know that's incorrect, so let me know like your exact official title, like what it is.
So I am a doctor of psychiatric nursing practice. So what does that mean exactly? Well,
Yes.
I do provide therapy as well as medication management. And I'm also board certified as a family practitioner as well. So I also help individuals that have medical needs, whether it's diabetes or high blood pressure or skin issues. So yes, we kind of wear a couple of hats.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that you also did those other things. I know that you work with some behavioral stuff,
Yes.
But yeah, I didn't know that it extended into other areas like that. That's pretty fascinating. See, and I've known you for years, and I'm just learning this now. I don't know. It's like you keeping something for me, or I'm not paying attention. It's one or the other.
No, not trying to hide anything, but psychiatric services or behavioral health is the primary focus. But then, like I said, I am board certified in family, so do still work in that capacity as well. Yes.
Very nice, very nice. So we talk every year, and there's a lot going on, as there always is. And 2023 has you know been different, a little excitement here and there going on. At least we don't have the pandemic craziness as much. We've been bouncing back from that, and I know that hey, we've all been benefiting from that. But for this year though, the celebrations that go on, or the acknowledgments for February, of course, it's um, self love.
Yes.
You
Yes.
got a self love thing going on with Tyson Multimedia, with that's involving the young folks. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, February, like you said, has a lot of things happening. It's the month of love, but we believe at Tyson Multimedia, before you can love anyone else, you must first love yourself. And
Hello.
loving yourself is, setting boundaries or even taking a time to de-stress, whether it's walking, getting that exercise in, or eating healthy, or sometimes even taking a nap.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
taking a break, and or going to get your mani and your pedicures, doing those things that we all need to do to take better care of ourselves. And so here at Tyson Multimedia, we kind of combine the two. We talk about, we actually conversate with local Black business leaders and sometimes national Black business leaders, and we talk about what they do. For instance, this year we partnered with a Christian Bible bookstore. She's a
Mm.
minister out of Wilson, North Carolina. And so we interviewed her and how she got started into the ministry, and then how it also led her to open up a Christian Bible and bookstore. And so she is actually sponsored our first prize for the contest. We do a contest. And so
Okay.
each week, individuals get to tune in and see the live Instagram interview. And then we talk about, what does self-love mean to that person? And then we talk about their business, but also who in the entrepreneurship world has inspired them to be who they are. And then for her prize, she donated a $50 gift card for her store. And so we've announced the winner for that. They have about 15 days to call in and claim their prize. And then the second business leader, we actually spoke to a young gentleman by the name of Mello. And he actually is the owner operator of Different Level Barber Studio. And so we got to hear about his passion and how he actually went to school at a all Black barber school that actually started in Durham, North Carolina, and so by some fraternity brothers. And so that was really exciting. And he talked about how his mentor, or the person that he admired the most, was a guy that he started as an apprentice under for about a year, who also still cuts his hair today. Because I was like, well, who cuts your hair?
Wow.
And he was like, my mentor does. And I was like, okay, that's awesome. But the exciting thing about him was not only does he own a barber studio, but he's also has his own clothing design brand. And so the winner for that particular prize is not only going to get a haircut with a shampoo, but also a part or a style or design. They're also going to get a customized design hoodie from his brand line. So I thought that was really exciting.
Wow.
Yes.
And I really love that. I mean, is that we seeing so many more of our of our brothers and sisters becoming entrepreneurs, and really boldly stepping into a lot of these different arenas, like fashion and
Yes.
and so forth. I mean, that's really great stuff, because hey, as Black people, we have a lot of buying power,
Yes.
and
Yes.
we really need to turn that inwards.
Yes. And even the bookstore owner, not only is her place, not only does she have books, but she partners with local craftsmen, whether it's honey or soaps or She even
Hmm.
has a beautiful this one young lady has different dolls that she's crocheted and knitted. So it's a wonderful little shop in downtown Wilson. She has jewelry there as well. And then she also opens up her store. She does book signing events. I was fortunate to be able to do a book signing event there. And so she just has just wonderful things. And then also, of course, she has her ministry there as well. And so
Wow.
people can join her for services on Sunday. And she has this awesome Christian children's ministry as well. So she's just, just growing by leaps and bounds. And she started a podcast recently because she has like three levels of her business location. So she's doing really amazing things there.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Just it seems as though the whole program is beneficial to everyone involved, you know,
Yes,
and
yes,
and it's great that that we're really teaching the young people self-love, and as also a part of that whole self-love is um hey, not only just making sure that you taking care of yourself, but also making sure that others are being good to you. And that's also where the whole teen dating violence awareness month comes in, which I know is something that you definitely a participant in, and bringing the awareness out there to the community. And that's also there are things that you always do each year, and associated with that. I know with Tyson Multimedia, you've made videos and all
yes,
kinds of
yes.
great stuff. So I know that good fight continues, right?
Yes, we do also focus on teen dating violence as well, which takes me back to our last person that we actually conversated with for the Self Love Challenge. Is she's actually a award-winning electronic violinist. We got to speak to Miss Joy
Mm.
Black out in Atlanta for our last business conversation. And her story is so unique because she dealt with bullying growing up,
Right, that's
and
right.
and
We've
so
had on.
now
We've
she's
had
able to
on.
use her music to heal from the bullying that she experienced as a child, and she's also able to share to others how they can heal, and if she can overcome, they can overcome bullying. And I segued it into that because sometimes in teen dating violence, it's about control, and
Yep.
sometimes the victim is bullied by the the perpetrator. And dating violence can happen. It's sometimes people don't think that it can happen among teens, but teens as young as 12 to 18, about 70% of them have spoken up and said, hey, I've been experienced some type of dating violence, whether it's been physical, where the other individuals actually put their hands on them, or whether they've been stalked. And stalking is different nowadays because you have social media,
That's
you
right.
have your phone, you have people that can drive by your house, but then also stalking you while you're in school. For instance, if the girl or guy, they have third period, they're in math class, and the person started calling them on the cell phone, or looking at their social media to figure where they're at, but they're actually at class. They've been in class just like the other person is all day. And sometimes teens don't think of some of the smallest things can be considered as teen dating violence. For instance, a guy may ask another student out, and she may decline and not want to go out with him, but then he may start calling her names or talking
Yeah.
about her amongst his friends and kind of bullying her to eventually start going out with him. And so that even that can be seen as teen dating violence, or someone telling a guy or girl saying, hey, uh, if you love me, you skip class for me, or if you love me, you won't participate in your game today. So sometimes it's the little things that we don't think about that can turn into the bigger things, where the person's telling you what not to wear, or you can't go spend time with your family. And then next thing you know, you come home, or you notice there's a bruise. And so it's important for parents to not only know that their teen is dating, but who their friends are and finding out, who they're hanging out with and what type of environment the other person is living in.
Yeah, and I know one very important thing that you teach with when you're talking to folks about self-love is also knowing, how to draw those boundaries for yourself,
Yes, yes.
and letting people know what those boundaries are. It's like, hey, you got to respect me.
Yeah, boundaries are so important. I think sometimes people think, well, if I express how I'm feeling, this person might not want to be my friend anymore.
Right.
But if something's hurting you or changing the way that your moral compass is, like if you don't want to have sex or if you don't want to smoke, or if someone's causing you to bend those moral values that you have, then yes, you have to speak up and let them know, I don't like when you ask me to do this, or I don't like when you say this about me. So it's important to set those boundaries. Or hey, I'm going to be hanging out with my family on Saturday. I appreciate if you didn't call me 10 times, because I've already told you that I'm spending time with my family on that day. Or, I don't look, it can be something as simple as going through someone's cell phone. I don't look through your cell phone. So I
Yeah.
appreciate if you don't look through my cell phone. Again, setting those boundaries.
Yeah, it's such an important thing, and it's a great thing that's something that you're teaching folks, and I've always said that, the great things that you're doing there in North Carolina. I mean, you got to figure out a way to spread the love nationwide. So yes, it's also February is also Black History Month, and I know that there are also some things that you do every year for that as well, with Tyson Multimedia, right?
Yeah, so not only do we talk to local and national Black business leaders, but then we also share some Black history. For instance, just learning about who the first Black millionaire barber was,
Hmm.
and so we pull out those facts. And then, just after we spoke to the violinist, we said, okay, let's see who one of the prominent Black violinists was during the 1800s. And it was actually Frederick Douglass' his grandson. And so we just kind of posted that. We're going to be posting those facts today. So it's really, and then going back to the bookstore, the young lady that has her bookstore. So finding out that, during that time, the 1800s, 1900s, bookstores were also seen as a way for not only for Black people to escape mentally, but also to escape. They were ways of underground railroads to help people escape to freedom as well.
Wow. February, we also celebrate
Go Red Month.
Go Red Month. Okay.
Yes, yes. I have my red dress on tonight representing Go Red Month. So, Go Red is actually a platform that the American Heart Association created because, as an initiative to help bring more awareness to women and cardiovascular disease, because cardiovascular disease is still the number one leading cause of death among women. It affects 1 out of 3 women. And so it's important for women and men and everyone to know what their numbers are. So when you say know what your numbers are, your blood pressure numbers. So we like for blood pressure to be between 120 over 80. Knowing what your fasting blood glucose number is, we want that to be 100. Knowing what your cholesterol levels are, they should be below 200. Knowing what your BMI is, anything that's over 25 is considered overweight. So knowing what those numbers are, then because once you know where you're starting at, then you know how to change those things. Now there's some things that you can't change. Of course, you can't change your heredity. You can't change your race, but you can change some of your habits. Going to Bojangles every day. So or going to McDonald's every day. Unless you're getting a salad instead of the cheeseburger and the fries. So
Right.
changing our eating habits, and once things have been cooked, not going back and adding all this salt on the food, or smoking. We know that smoking constricts your arteries. We know when your arteries are constricted, it prevents blood from flowing. And we know that stroke is caused by not getting enough blood flow to the brain, or sometimes having blood clots that travel up to the brain. So, and also sedentary lifestyle can be changed, so getting up, getting moving, getting acting. But before you start any exercise program, you always got to talk to your primary care provider, because we don't know what your risk factors are. We don't know if you've had an injury. So it's always important to go and sit down and talk with your primary care provider, and like, hey, can I start this particular exercise? Do I need to be on low impact exercise? So it's important to have that conversation with them first before you start any type of exercise program.
American Heart Month. That's the red stuff. Yeah. You know, also, there are a lot of different things at National Cancer Awareness, a lot going on in February. But now, as we are sliding ourselves right into March now, you know, we also have Women's History Month. Okay. And, that's always something that, that people need to always acknowledge. And, are there any programs, anything that you have in place with that? Anything that you do?
So I know last year for Women's History Month, we spoke to different artists across the country. We kind of celebrated different authors. And
Mhm.
so this year we may actually look at different artists, and whether it's dealing with acrylic painting, or so we may look at different artists for next month as we celebrate Women's History Month, and women, female artists. Like I said, last year we did female authors, and we kind of focused on children authors. And so I got to meet some amazing people across the great USA, and talk to them about their books and their different projects. And so I think next month we're going to be looking at different female artists, and talking to them about their passion and their love for arts, because I think it's important for kids to be a part of the arts,
Yeah,
because growing up, whether it's dance or whether it's painting or whether it's music, the arts really help, they really help shape our kids, and they also help improve their grades, and it also helps with their emotions, because as you're sitting there and you're playing music that helps soothe you, as Joel was telling us, that it was very healing for her as she was playing the violin, and it helped her heal from
that's what
bullying.
helped her through the bullying. Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes,
and she would get the satisfaction out of knowing that this is something that she's good at. You know,
yes.
and that's something that gives kids a lot of self-confidence. That's the reason why things like that, like activities and sports and so forth, are so important for kids to really to be involved with. Now, in the past, I know you've have had some things going on with Tyson Multimedia, and also yourself, Dr. Tiffany Tyson, the author. The author, let's not forget about that aspect.
I
Yeah.
know. So I am working on a couple of projects. So I've been writing, and so we are working on a couple of projects. So we'll
Uh-oh.
look towards that, probably towards the end of the year. Um, some art, some things related to authorship. We'll look towards that towards the end of the year. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So new projects, or any follow-ups from some of the other projects that you've done in the past, or am I like poking around somewhere where I shouldn't be? Because I know you got some other things that
No, there's going to be a final series of Reclaiming My Life. So we are looking at that. We just
nice, nice.
launched book two, After the Storm, and that went on to become Amazon's #1 bestsellers, like the first one did. And so we are working on the final chapter of that. And so it's like a collaboration of Reclaiming My Life, After the Storm. And so, but I'm also going to be working on some children things. So we're getting back again with the children books. And so I'll be working on some things for teens, and some things for our middle schoolers. So
Yeah.
busy year.
Yeah, well, hey, that's one thing about you is that you are always busy, and hey, it's always a pleasure to have you around, and I feel very fortunate just that you're a part of the platform, that you're a regular here,
Thank
and
you.
it's always great to connect with you and to talk about the stuff that you're doing, and always keep us posted on all the great stuff that you're doing in your community. We're always SM Enlightenment is your station. We're behind you 100%. So hey, we got to look out for each other. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So who you shouting out in closing?
Oh, wow. Who am I shouting out? Well, my Reclaiming My Life sisters, my
Yeah.
After the Storm sister and brothers, Tyson Multimedia
Mhm.
fans, Tyson Multimedia staff and crew. Oh, wow. Boys and Girls Club, we work a lot with them as well. And to new partnerships in 2023. And shout out to Joy Black and Pastor Telly Lucas and Milo from Different Level Barber Studio. Shout out to you guys.
Dr. Tiffany Tyson, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
And where can the folks catch up to you?
Wow. So you can tune in on Tyson Multimedia social media platforms, where it's Tyson Multimedia on Facebook, Tyson Multimedia on Instagram, Tyson Multimedia on Twitter. And then if you have any questions about anything that's up and coming, you can always contact us at info@tysonmultimedia.com or 252-281-4884.
And I happen to know that it's be beneficial to everyone to pay attention to Tyson Multimedia, especially like the social media ones. What is that? Like the Facebook and all of those, because
Yes,
I,
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yes.
yeah, because I know there's some important information that's going to be dropping soon with all of that. So just to let folks know, make sure that you link in with Dr. Tiffany Tyson and Tyson Multimedia. Okay, and once again, it's a pleasure to have you, and thank you so much for blessing us. You
Thank you for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. This has been the spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, stick around because we got more SM Enlightenment coming your way right after this. So stick around. Peace and blessings. This has been the spotlight.